I want to close with a couple thoughts on leading in a project-based world. This is just a quick preview of the breakout sessions that I'll lead, and so you can join one of those if you're interested. But as I said in my opening, it feels increasingly like we're living in this project-based world where most people's careers are really less about who they work for at the time and more about the project or projects that they're working on. I reflected the other day that since leaving the X Prize Foundation 10 years ago, I haven't really had a job. What I've had is a series of projects, hundreds of projects, often 6 or 8 simultaneously. And I think that's the kind of world that most of our young people are headed for. And so in the breakouts, I want to talk about what does it mean to lead in that sort of environment. It's an environment of rapid change, and that's both good and bad, right? Your young people are going to leave your campus and go into a world where there's more opportunity to make money and to make a difference than there's ever been. For the enterprising, knowledgeable young person, it is an extraordinary period in human history. If you don't feel confident about your ability to apply knowledge and skills in that complex environment, you support Donald Trump, right? You feel like an outsider. You feel like the world is passing you by. You don't understand what's happening. And we're quickly moving into a world of people that are either connected to the global economy or feel left out by the global economy. And it's yielding a set of inequities that are really troubling, that we haven't fully dealt with. That's clearly a message from this last campaign season. So this question of, given that confusing, interesting, wonderful world that we live in, how should we lead? So the first question, the equity question, this is not just for school leaders but for communities, is how do we move people to the right? So if we think about the gig economy, on the left you have low skill, highly repetitive jobs. And as you move to the right, you have more freelance work. You have high skill, non-routine work. A lot of the jobs on the left are going to stick around, but they're not going to pay very well. So the question is, how do we move as many people to the right as possible, ready to deploy knowledge and skills into complex, non-routine situations? And then how do we provide a living wage for people on the left? I think that's a question that we have to grapple with. That's at least a lesson for me in this political season. Secondly, I think we want to ask kids to take on big challenges. One really good example of that is the UN's global goals. If you look up #global goals, you'll find these 17 goals and then a set of curriculum resources behind each one. And I think these are really good examples of potential projects. So ending poverty, ending hunger, providing good health, providing quality education at scale, using technology at scale, smart cities. So that's a great source for really good project topics. So if you're framing a project and you have a kid that says, I don't know what to study, say #global goals, take a look. Moving to the right also means being a thoughtful leader. And I've been thinking a lot about this in the wake of violence in our cities and cities around the country. There's been a lot of talk of mindfulness, and Houston Superintendent Terry Greer became really interested in mindfulness in his tenure here. Mindfulness is being aware of yourself and your surroundings in the present. I think thoughtfulness is the next step, because it's mindfulness plus empathy. It's mindfulness plus consideration. And I think to be a thoughtful leader, we need to be both fully present, but we need to exercise empathy. Empathy with the person that's in front of us. Empathy with the Reuben that's in trouble, that's sitting right in front of you. empathy with the neighborhood that you're serving. If you're a leader, you're called to exert empathy at scale. And so in the breakout session, I want to talk about what does it mean to be a thoughtful leader, to be both mindful and considerate. You guys have accomplished extraordinary things. You're one of the biggest and best school networks in this country. That's such a big deal that very few other people have figured out how to scale excellent schools. And so you are unique. You are special. You are important. You are a gift to your communities. You're a gift to your state. You're a gift to this country. And Dr. Taram, you've accomplished something really extraordinary, and we all appreciate it. So I want to close just with another poem from Rilke. And it's a reminder, this probably happened 20 years ago when you're grad students at A&M dreaming about what might be. We don't often enough lift our chin and think about what if. What might be possible? How could I actually change the world? And I love this poem because it was a very young man, about 80 years ago. He was 21. And with this openness and this authenticity, he said, I believe in all that has never yet been spoken. I want to free what waits within me so that what no one has dared wish for will spring forth without my contriving. I love that sense of openness, of authenticity, of God, just use me to be the difference. I don't know how, I don't know where, but I want to make a difference. And it's that sense of openness, of authenticity, this a bit of audacity, right? He goes on in this poem to apologize to God for being so audacious, to ask to be used as a vessel to make a difference. But that is my prayer for you, that together you can lift your chin and say, what if? How could we change just a little bit? How could we take a trend? How could we take the arc of history and bend it just a little bit more towards justice, towards mercy, more towards equity? That's what Harmony is all about. Thanks for being here.